General Soren looked at the human general in shock. You are saying that one of your soldiers went MIA a week ago, and you don't want to search for him? Are you out of your fucking mind? Humans are so new to the Galactic Society that a single missing soldier is a matter of great concern for us. Especially a frontline observer. An observer! He is supposed to stay behind the front line and get a feeling on how we fight to report back to you, so you can adapt your doctrine to fight alongside us. Soren sighed. The loss of the bunker complex is a great enough problem already, and now we have a soldier missing at least 10 clicks behind enemy lines. A soldier who doesn't know how we fight or have at least an idea of what the objectives are. He paused to look at the calm human. Why are you not looking concerned in the slightest? General Adam Black just smiled and leaned back in his chair without a care in the world. Simple. Benedict Cardinal is no mere soldier. He is, like myself, let's call it special. Soren lifted the fleshy protrusion above his single eye to mimic a human raising his eyebrow. Now it was Black's turn to sigh. He tapped away at a very small datapad, which he called a smartphone, and waited a bit, before sighing again. Okay, I got the clear to talk about it with you. He was deathly serious right now, a sight that made Soren shudder slightly, and gripping his sidearm with his lower hand. My real name is not Adam Black, and the missing soldier's name is not Benedict Cardinal either. The naming scheme of my organization is a bit dumb, but that's not here nor there. He looked at Soren's hand on his sidearm and grinned. That would not help you, even if you could draw faster than me, which you can't. As fast as he grinned, it was over again. My organization is a combination of special forces from before the last unification war of the Terran Empire. He raised a hand to interrupt Soren before he could speak. Yes, the last unification war. We had 4 in total. With his hand now lowered again, he continued. I am afraid we don't have an official name, but the naming scheme is a dead giveaway, if you ask me. We start with the first letter of the alphabet and choose a first name. For the last name, we choose a color that starts with the following letter. Adam Black means I was one of the first. So, you want to know why I am not concerned in the slightest about Ben? Simple. He is the best soldier the Terran Empire has. And I mean soldier in a very loose term. His initiation into the organization was the lone infiltration of the Martian conglomerate, which he not only aced, but he single-handedly won us the last unification war. Ben is the perfect soldier. Well, as perfect as a biohuman can be. He will survive off the land. He eats things that will make even humans puke. Even in the off chance that he would get captured, he would not tell them anything. He is trained to ignore pain, ignore cold, heat, and basically everything else you can think of. Benedict Cardinal is the perfect soldier. He will make it back to us. He has no weapons, you say? He will make them, and make the enemy bleed with them. No intel, he gets his own intel. Oh, he has no supplies and is all alone? Don't make me laugh. He will become the nightmare of the enemy supply lines and steal, murder, and bribe his way through his situation with ease. He will either turn the enemy to his side, or make them suffer enough that they want him gone. The soldiers of the organization are trained to be the perfect killing machines, and Ben is the best of us. The only reason I am his superior is because I have more experience and not a biohuman. I have so much augmentations that I hardly count as living anymore. Adam told his little story so nonchalantly that Soren gripped his sidearm only tighter with every word he was hearing until his knuckles became white. In his 58 years of military service, he could very well imagine what hellish training one has to go through to become such a soldier. And the mere imagination made him almost faint. So, he began, after swallowing dry and forcing himself to release his pistol. You are saying that this Benedict is basically the most dangerous thing that we could have released behind enemy lines? Why would you bring your biological superweapon onto a stalemate front to be a mere observer? Why? Exactly for such an occasion. Adam perked up as his smartphone was ringing and grinned wide as he saw the caller ID. He took the call and put it on speaker. "Hi-ho, Adam," came the amused voice of someone. "Just letting you know that the bunker complex is clear now. You can let the cowards in again. Those fuckers were trying to push through and attack Hill 294 next. Let's say I put a stop to that. I went all Vietcong meets Taliban on their asses. I'm back in 2. A single chuckle and the line was dead. Soren collapsed in his chair and just looked at the human. What does that mean?" Adam laughed. "That means, my friend, that dear Benedict was doing your job. As far as I understand him, he either forced a widespread retreat of the Third Army, or he wiped them all out. In any case, the bunker complex is clear for your occupation now, and he was making fun of you for retreating so easily, as well as telling me that he would be back at staging point in 2 days." Soren was standing in the command center of the bunker complex they lost. The sight alone, he couldn't decipher which remains were from his men or the enemy. Every surface was covered in blood and all remains of sapience. The worst part was that the way to here was not looking any better. Benedict has even gone so far as to put the heads of the enemy commanders on sticks and planted them outside the entrance. A sight that made half his unit puke as they saw it. Even now his unit, or Praetorian Guard, wasn't back to full strength. 40 of his 120 men even resigned on the spot. The Praetorian Guard of His Majesty, and guards for all high-ranking military officials, the creme de la creme of the Zanabo military, the elite of the elite, and a single massacre was making them quit on the spot. Not that he had not understood them. Half the complex was a literal bloodbath, while the other half was covered in craters of explosions and fine bloody dust that were once soldiers. The last he remembered before the sight was too much even for him was the open eyes of an Ormia soldier staring at him, attached only by fine strands of flesh to the top of his skull, laying half a meter in front of his mangled corpse.